hello everyone and welcome to our weekly learning hour webinar. I'm Nafis and I'm excited to be your host for today's session. So today we have our expert trainer, Miss Adila, and she will be sharing about a very interesting topic, exploring and utilizing impactful charts and graph in Microsoft Excel. So without further ado, please welcome Miss Adila.
All right, Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So firstly, thank you so much Nafis for the wonderful introduction. As all of you know, so today we'll be covering a topic called exploring and utilizing impactful charts and graph in Microsoft Excel. So the keyword here is charts and graph, all right? So the plan for today is we will be covering three tiers or three levels of charts and graph. And shortly, I will share with you what are those tiers or those levels. So allow me to present my screen so all of you can see what I meant, right? So give me a moment here. All right, so let's go to the slides here. All right, so as mentioned earlier, we'll be covering three tiers for today when it comes to charts and graph. So first for tier one, we will cover the basic charts and graph, right? So how do you create charts and graph from the information that you have, the data that you have? And for basic charts and graph, we will be covering four main charts and graph because there's a lot of charts and graph that you can actually create inside Microsoft Excel. But for this particular webinar, for this particular learning session, we'll be covering the four main ones, all right? So why these four? It's because these are the most common charts and graphs that are used in Excel, in presentation, etc. So these four charts are line graph, column graph, bar graph, and also pie chart. So later we will have a look at those examples. And for tier two, all right, as you can see here, we have actual versus target. So if let's say you want to show charts and graph in the form of, let's say, your KPI, your performance, you would have your actual versus your target. So I will be showing two examples for you to present your actual versus targets charts and graph. And finally, under tier three, okay, we will look into combination or combo of charts and graph, whereby we'll be focusing on Pareto. So Pareto is a combination of column graph and also a line graph. So later we'll also look at the example of Pareto and how can we actually combine the charts and graph together inside Microsoft Excel. All right. So let's go on to the first one, tier one, which is the basic charts and graph. So I will use this file here. All right, as you can see, we have an Excel file that is showing as car sales, all right, by gender. So on the left side here in column A, we have a list of car models, all right. And then in column B, we have the percentage, all right, for men, all right, how many percent of car sales goes to this particular car for men. And in column C, we have the data or the statistics for women, right? So as mentioned earlier, we will be covering these four main one, pie chart, bar chart, column graph, and also line graph. So I will show you an example of how all of these four looks like. So we start off with pie chart first, okay? So before you create any charts and graph, all right, make sure you highlight the data, all right, that you want to be included inside your charts and graph. So here I highlighted my column A and also the relevant data in column B. So I highlight cell A4 until B9 here, all right, car sales for men. And then you go to your insert tab. In the middle here, you will see there's a charts ribbon here. You can click on recommended charts, okay? So when you click on recommended charts, under recommended charts, you can see there's a lot of charts here like the column, pie, bar, all right? You also have funnel, Pareto, etc. So these are your recommended charts. So if you go to all charts, you can see all of the charts that are available in Excel, okay? So you can click on pie here. So you can see we have a basic 2D pie here. We also have 3D pie, a wonderful graph here. You can also create a pie of a pie, right? Bar of a pie as well as a donut. So I'll choose 3D pie for now, all right? It looks very nice in a 3D form. So let's choose 3D pie, all right? You can go to all charts here, click on pie, and then I choose the second one, which is 3D pie. Click on OK. So this is how your chart looks like. Let me zoom out a little bit, okay? So here you will see there's the chart title here. You will see your pie chart here, your 3D pie down here in the middle. And then at the bottom, you will see some indicators, all right? You will see blue color is Fiat, red color is Ford, light green is BMW, etc. So at the bottom here, when you see this indicator, all right, actually it has its own name. We refer them as legend, okay? So this is what we call them, legend, right? So if you want to edit here, actually you can find it as legend. If you put your cursor here, it's showing as legend entry 6. So this indicator is known as legend inside Microsoft Excel. So for basic charts, all right, first, I would always emphasize everyone to actually update your chart title, all right? When we present our chart, be it at work, presentation at university, etc., make sure you update your chart title here, right? So it reflects what you want to tell to your audience, right? So here I will put it as pie chart for car sales by men, okay? All right, so we have the chart title there. And then here on your pie chart, we see, all right, there is a big chunk here for red color that represents Ford, but I want to know what is the percentage, right? So if I present to people, when people ask me, may I know what is the percentage for red color? By right, I want the data to be here as well. So it's easy for me to quote how many percent it is, okay? So here you just put your cursor anywhere on your pie chart, your 3D pie chart, right click on your mouse, and here you will see add data labels. So when you click on add data labels, you can see all of the labeling has been done. All right, now we know for Ford, it's red color here based on the legend, and it represents 38% of the total car sales, okay? So first is the chart title, second is the add data labels, right? So these are the basic charts and graph that you can do. Other than that, all right, when you right click again on your mouse, okay, you can also click on format data labels, okay? So here, let's say you can see on the right side here, you can actually set, all right, the label position. You want it at the center here, or inside N, outside N, or best fit. So you can play around with the options or the setting that is available for you for charts and graph. All right, when you right click, okay, when you click on the format data labels on the right side here, it will appear. Right, you can also choose the size, all right, the alignment of your labeling, okay. And then if you want to color them, all right, let's say you want fill here, example here, solid fill in blue color. Let me change it to something lighter, yeah, so you can see. Let's say in white, all right, you can also do that as well, okay. So there's a lot of things that you can do here. And then if you right click, you go to the final one, which is format data series, okay. So here, format data series, you can actually for the series option here, angle of the first slice, all right? You can actually angle it, okay, how you want it to be. You want it to, just now, okay, let me just go back here. All right, so earlier you can see the red portion here is to the right, okay? So if I click on format data series, you can angle your slice, right? So now it's moving more to the right, okay? And then the pie explosion, you can also explode it, all right, in this way. If you don't want it to be combined together, you can actually choose the pie explosion, okay? The middle one, again, some basic settings like shadow, glow, all right? If you want any colors on it, you can actually edit it as well. And then you can also choose border or color. So example for fill, we click on solid fill, all right? You can choose the colors that you want here, okay? Any colors that you want. Example, if you want all in the same color, you can do that as well. But we don't want that, yeah? Because we want to see the difference of colors there. So it matches back the legend down here, all right? So there's actually some segregation over there. Okay, so that is format data series. And then if you click on change series chart type, change series chart type, you can actually change your chart. Let me click on it again. Okay, so example, you want to change it from 3D to 2D, etc. You can actually choose that, right? And if you click on select data, all right, so here you can see at the top, we have chart data range. So here it's taking from A4 to cell B9. So that is the cell that I've highlighted earlier, okay? So you can change. Let's say you have more data that you input in. Let's say instead of row 4 until row 9, you added until row 15 for an example. So you can actually just, you can actually update your data source here. You can just delete everything here and then you can select from row 4 until row 15 to update your data, right? So those are some of the basic editing that you can do for your charts and graph, right? So the first example is pie chart. So here you go, the first one. All right, second one is bar chart. So again, I highlight cell A4 until B9. Let's go to insert tab, recommended chart. You can go to all charts and you can click on bar. So column and bar is the same, it's just that the orientation. So column is vertical, bar is horizontal. So for bar it's horizontal here, I'll just choose the first one, the basic clustered bar, right? Let's click on OK. So again, you will see there's chart title here. So let's update, right? So this is the bar chart for car sales by men, and you can also add the data labels. Okay, you don't have to read it here to assume Ford is how many percent. Again, go to any of the data here, right? Just right click and then click on add data labels. So now you can see at the end of your bar chart, you have your labels here in percentage. That is the second one. The third one, if you notice, let me zoom in a little bit, you can see there's a vertical line at the back, okay? So for me personally, I would like to see my charts and graph appear clean, all right? It appears, very neat and tidy. So here what I would do is I will delete the vertical line at the back here. So what you can do is you can just click on any of the vertical line. Now you can see there's blue dots up and down here, right? So if that's the blue dot, meaning you have selected the lines correctly. Okay. So after you have clicked on any of the lines, you can see the blue dots here. Just click delete on your keyboard. Right. So now you can see your charts and graph are all clean. Okay. The vertical line is no longer visible. Okay. So that is the third one. First is chart title, second is your add data label, and the final one, I've shown you how you can delete the vertical line at the back. Okay. So that is bar chart. Now, the third one is column. So column is vertical. All right. So vertical, bar is horizontal. So again, highlight the relevant data, cell A4 until B9. Insert tab, recommended chart. We can go to column. Let's choose the second one here. All right, clustered column, but all in different colors. Okay. Click OK. So here, first, you can update the chart title. Okay, so this is column graph for car sales by men, right? You can add the data labels, okay? So this one, since it's different colors, so you would need to do it for each of it, yeah? But if you choose the first one, all right, where they have the same color, all blue, then you only need to do it once, okay? And then you have the legend here. And then behind here, you have the horizontal line at the back. Again, you can remove it. Just click on any of the lines and then click delete on your keyboard, right? And then just now what I did was I want to remove number one here, the the exist label here. So I just click on the number one here and then I click delete on my keyboard. So now it's nicely showing, all right, my column graph for car sales by men with each of the car has different colors to differentiate between them. Okay, so this is column graph. Right, let me align that. Okay, and then the final one is line graph. Okay, so again, highlight relevant data. The same step apply, insert tab, recommended chart, all charts, you can go to line graph. So this is the line graph that I'm choosing. So again, update the chart title. Okay, so this is line graph for car sales by men. Okay, right click anywhere on the line. Okay, add data labels, there you go. And then we remove the horizontal line at the back, click on any of the line, all right, and then just click delete on your keyboard. So now you have your line graph. So let me put the line graph down here below pie chart, and let's try to arrange all of them together nicely, okay? All right, so there you go. Let me zoom out a little bit. So these are the four main charts and graph that I'm showing. We have the pie chart, bar chart, column graph, and also line graph for your reference. Okay, so I've shown you how can we do basic editing. All right, and also the main element are the chart title, that is important. Second, it's easier for you to add your data labels, so at least you know how much, okay, for each of your charts and graph. And then finally, how can you remove the lines at the back, be it vertical or horizontal subtle line at the back earlier, right? So that is tier 1 basic charts and graph, all right? So I hope that's okay. So now let's move on to the second part, all right? Tier 2, which is the actual versus target. So if you can see from the screen here, as I mentioned earlier, we have two types that I would like to show you for today. First is in the form of column chart here, right? So the orange color represents your target, all right? The blue color represents your actual. So this is the first type that you can present your actual versus target graph. Second, we have column and also marker, right? So marker is the X sign here, okay, for target in orange color. So this is the second example that you can follow. So it's up to you whether you want to use the one on the right or the one on the left. So here I have like simple data, right, by quarter, right? And then I have the percentage of the actual and also the target percentage, let's say for the sales team to achieve, okay? Now, I've put in all of the step by step here, all right, for the left graph and also for the right graph. So let's try and do for the left graph first, where everything is in column chart, all right? So this is how it looks like. So let's recreate this graph together, okay, based on the step by step. So let's go through the step by step first. First, we choose the start column, all right? Second, for actual, we right click and then choose format data series and we click on secondary axis. As for the third step, all right, for target, we choose format data series and we choose gap width 100. All right, so if you don't understand now, it's okay. Let's do it together. All right, so first we highlight all of the relevant data. So here I will highlight cell A3 until C7, all right, for by quarter, actual, and also target. And then I will go to insert tab here, recommended charts, right? So I will use the all charts here, so to ensure that I have all of the available options, okay? So first, what does it say? Stack column. So let's go to column, all right? And then choose the second one. You can see stack column here. So let's choose stack column. So when you do your first step here, this is how your charts and graph would look like, okay? So it's stacking on top of each other for the actual at the bottom in blue and target is in orange at the top, okay? So let's see what is the second step here, all right? So the second step, it says here for actual, all right? Choose format data series and then click on secondary axis. So actual is in blue color, right? So right click on the blue, any of the blue from quarter 1 can, quarter 2 can, quarter 3 or quarter 4 also can, right? So right click, click on format data series. Okay, I'm following the second step here. And then what does it say? Secondary axis. So if you can see on the right side here, right now it's showing as primary axis. I want you to choose secondary axis, okay? So when that is done, you can see now the blue color dominates. It looks taller than the targeted one, which is the orange color, right? Now, final step for target, choose format data series and then gap width, click on 100. Okay, so let's go to the orange color target, right click, format data series, and now the gap width is showing as 150. All right, let's reduce it to 100. So what you can do is you can actually type in 100 in here. I'll just delete everything, put 100, enter. Okay. right? So this is how it looks like, okay? But here, wait, for quarter one, it's not showing properly. All right, there you go, right? So that is for the first graph and charts and graph, all right, the first option that you have here. So we just follow the step here, very simple, highlight all the relevant data, click on stack column. Second, all right, just click only on actual, choose format data series, click on secondary axis. And for the third step, it applies to your target, the orange color, choose format data series and set your gap width into 100%. So here I put a remark here, very important. For the gap width, right, make sure your actual is more than your targeted. So if you click on your target here, all right, you format data series, okay? So now for your actual, it's showing as gap width 150%. That's fine, right? So actual is 150. Now click on your target, the orange color, you can see the gap width is 100. So that's how you can get the actual inside of your target, all right, inside the column graph. So that's why here I put an important remarks or reminder, ensure your gap width for actual is more than your target, okay? So you will get this graph, but we do not end up to here only. Remember, update the chart title, okay? So let's say this is the actuals versus target for 2023 July sales example, yeah. So just provide the title here. Second, you can delete the lines at the back there. Remember, we did it in the basic one, in tier one. So now it looks cleaner. Okay, it looks tidy and neat. And then don't forget, you can also add your data labels, right? So right click, add data labels, right click, add data labels. You can actually adjust it, okay, if you want it to be at the top. So here, when you click on the data labels for your target, the orange color, right click, format data labels, okay. So you can put it inside N, so it will be at the top, right? So now it's at the top when I choose inside N. If you choose inside base, it will be at the bottom. And if you choose center, it's there. So I don't want center or inside base because it looks like it's quite near to the actual number. So here I will put and choose the inside N. So now it's clearer. All right, the number is for target and not for actual. If you don't want to adjust it, using the format data labels, all right, you can actually adjust it manually yourself. Okay, you can just actually click on the number here and you can adjust it to be at the top here. Example, see, I moved the 10% further up. I move the 15% further up, all right? So you can adjust it in that way as well, no problem. Finally, the 5%, let's move it up as well, right? So there you go. You can see now we have the actual versus target charts and graph for 2023 July sales, and this is how it looks like. So this is the example for the first one, right? So let me put this to the left side. And then now let's look on the right side. We want to create, again, an actual versus target graph, but this time it's a column graph with a marker here. So the marker here is showing as X. You can actually choose other markers. You want it in the shape of lines, in other shapes also can. All right, I will show you shortly. So let's go through the step by step here, right? For the right graph, so we choose, just now we are choosing stack column, right, for the left side. But for the right side, we are using clustered column, right? And then if you notice, everything is focused on the target, all right? So we are not going to amend or change anything for the actual data, right? The one in blue color, but we will do the editing, all right, for target, the orange color. So first one for target, we choose change series chart type, go to combo, go to target, and for the for the chart type, you will choose line with markers. The third step, again, apply for target. We'll choose format data series, okay, choose line and then choose no line. And final step, again, it applies to target. We will choose format data series, marker, marker options, and we will choose built-in, all right? So it may sound confusing right now, but let's do it together. Okay, so first highlight all relevant data, cell A3 until C7. Let's go to insert tab. All right, I want to see the step by step here. So let me just see it clearly here. Okay, so let's click on recommended chart, all charts, and let's go to column. So first step, clustered column, right? So go to column. So here I choose the clustered column. So when you apply the first step, this is how it looks like. So it's side by side there. Actual in blue would be on the left side and target in orange will be on the right side. Okay, so let's move further here. All right. So what is the second step? It says go to target, change series chart type, combo, target, charge type, and then choose line with markers, right? So right click on the target, okay, change series chart type, okay, so this is how it looks like, change series chart type, and then what does it say? It says go to combo. So combo is at the end here. If you can see at the bottom part, we have combo, right? And then it says go to target. So target is here, right? Series name target, the one where I circled using my mouse here, my cursor. Under chart type, all right, now it is clustered column. It says here change it into line with markers. So click on the drop down arrow and then choose this one, the fourth one, line with markers. All right, click OK. So when you apply the second step, all right, it will look like that. All right, let us apply for, give me a moment. It does not apply for quarter 3 and quarter 4, right? So let's do that as well. Again, change series chart type. Okay, so combo, target, chart type, let's change it to line with markers. Click OK. Right, so this is how it looks like. Now your target changes into a line graph now, right? A simple line graph there. So that is the second step. Third step, again, choose target, format data series, line, no line. So click on the target, right click, format data series at the bottom. Here you need to go to the icon of fill and line, the left one where you can see like there's a pin thin there, right? Fill and line. So under line here, you choose no line. All right, so now you can see there's marker here, but in round shape, in circle, right? That is the third step. Fourth step, we need to update on the marker. So if you want to leave it like this, it's fine. It's already finished. If this is the marker that you want, a circle around. But if you want to change it to other shapes, right click, format data series. Okay, again, go to the most left icon here, fill and line, and then choose marker, right? Under marker, what does it say? Go to marker options and built-in. So here, the top one, we have marker options. And then under built-in, okay, if you click on the type, you can choose other shapes as well. If you want triangle, can. If you want square, diamond, X, line, anything can. So let's say I'm choosing triangle here. You can also update the size, all right? If you want it bigger, you can set it, let's say, for size 10. If you want it smaller also, can. So here, let's say I set it as size 7. All right, so let's have a look at how it looks like. So this is the final product, okay? So you can choose any markers you want, okay? You can choose the X like this. You can choose triangle, round, okay, diamond, etc. So here again, update the chart title, right? So actual versus target 2023 July sales, for example. Remove the line at the back, click, and then click delete on your keyboard, right? So if here you want the data labels, you can add data labels. Same goes for your target as well, right? You can do that as well, right? So this is the final product. This is how it looks like. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so there you go. you can see this is a second example on how you can present your actual versus target. So next time, if you have your KPI or performances, you can follow these steps as per shown to you earlier. Okay, so this is tier 2, actual versus target graph. All right. So for the final one, the third tier, all right, we will see at a combo, how can you combine two different types of charts and graph together in one chart and graph, right? So that is what we call as Pareto, right? Because Pareto is a combination of a column graph and also a line graph, right? So let me open Pareto. Now, before I open Pareto, the file that I prepared, all right, it has two method here, all right, because it depends whether you have the Pareto function or not, right? So the newer version of Microsoft would have Pareto, okay, built in under your recommended chart. But if you have the older version of Excel, you can still create your Pareto, but you may require some additional step, but just a minor one, okay? So it depends on whether you have Pareto or not. All right, so how can you check is, let's say I'm opening method 1 if you have Pareto function. Okay, so what you can do is you can just highlight randomly the data, go to insert tab, recommended chart, and at the bottom you can see there's a Pareto. All right, so if you can see a Pareto, meaning you do have the Pareto function, therefore you can follow method 1, the file that I'm using right now. But let's say if you don't have Pareto function, that's fine. All right, let's look at method 2 after this. Okay, so before I show you how we can create Pareto chart, all right, so let me give you a little bit of introduction about Pareto. Okay, so this is how it is spelled, Pareto, and it is also known as 80-20 rule, all right? The reason why I tell you the name, all right, the other name of Pareto is because when we create our Pareto, our limits later, we will set it at 80%. Okay, so the other name for Pareto, it is also known as 80-20 rule, all right? So Pareto is actually discovered in Italy, all right? The guy definitely named Pareto, right? That is his last name. So what he found out is, all right, when he did his research back in the 18th century, he found out that 80% of the land in Italy is actually owned by 20% of the population. And when he further checks, there's actually a lot of 80-20 rule, that's happening around this actually, right? So for an example, like cause and effect, if you insert example 20% of your effort, it may actually help you to resolve 80% of the problem. So that is what 80-20 rule in general is about, right? Based on his finding back in the 18th century about the land possession in Italy. Okay, so that is Pareto, and the other name is 80-20 rule. Now, if you haven't seen or you don't know how Pareto looks like, this is how it looks like. Okay, so we have column graph here in blue, and then we have the line graph in orange. So it's a combination, right? In one chart, you can see both together. Okay, and then the line in the red, this is what I will explain later, all right, to show you the limit. Okay, so now when you get your data, right, so it will just appear like this, okay? So in column A and column B only. So we have in column A, we have the complaint type like air conditioning, we have concierge, delay in registration, delay in room service, etc. And in column B, we have the number of complaint. Now, if you can see from the complaint type, we can actually guess that it is actually the hotel industry, okay? So here, let's say, assuming, all right, I'm the hotel manager. Okay, I have limited resources, all right, and I've noticed that the hotel booking that is done for the hotel is decreasing. Okay, it's not showing as much as I want it to. Okay, so how can I ensure, all right, how can I prioritize which complaint type that I need to address first? Okay, so I want to address this first because I know if I address the main one, okay, the priority, if I prioritize the correct one, then it will solve most of my problem already. Okay, so this is the step by step for you to create your Pareto chart here, and Pareto will actually show you which of the item that you should prioritize. Okay, So first we need to find the total. Second, create column cumulative percentage. Third, calculate cumulative percentage. Fourth, highlight all cell and create Pareto. And five, you can determine the main complaints that you want to address. Okay. First, find the total. So here, you can actually just go to Home tab and then click Auto Sum here on the right side, right? Or you can actually use the formula sum, right? Equal to sum, open bracket, highlight cell B2 until B10, close bracket, and then you click enter. So the total is 122. There are 122 complaints here. So first step, it's done, all right? Put it in green. Second step, create column cumulative percentage. So I just type here in column C, cumulative percentage, right? So second step is also done. Third step, calculate the cumulative percentage, all right? So this could be a little bit tricky, all right? But let's do it together. So cumulative meaning you have to accumulate, right? So for cumulative percentage under cell C2, what I would do is I would type equal to, click on cell B2, okay, number 3 here, divide by the total cell B11, all right? So B2 divide by B11. So I got 2.5%. When it comes to the second row, row 3, all right, for concierge, I need to accumulate together the complaint, meaning I need to add 3 and 2 together, only then I divide by the total of 122, all right? So that is what cumulative means, okay? So here I would put equal to sum, right? Open bracket, I highlight cell B2 and B3 together. I need to accumulate. So I add up air conditioning up to concierge, close bracket, divide by the total, right? So you would get 4.1%, okay? So I hope everyone is fine at the moment. Okay, so if we go on to row number 4, delay in registration, again, remember cumulative. So equal to sum, open bracket, we will add everything from the beginning, air conditioning up to delay in registration. So I will add up 3, 2, and 43 together. So cell B2 until B4, close bracket, divide by 122. So you need to do this for each of the lines, all right? So let's do for row number 5, delay in room service. Again, equal to sum, open bracket, highlight cell B2 until B5, we add up 3, 2, 43, and 9 together. Close bracket, divide by the total of 122. Right? So let's go to row number 6, the same method. Okay, but now we take from air conditioning up to food quality. Close bracket, divide by 122. Okay, when it comes to row number 7, minibar, we do the same. Okay, divide by 122. Room cleaning also the same. We sum up from the beginning up to room cleaning. Divide by 122. Room interiors. 122. Staff attitude. Okay. Highlight everything. Divide by 122. Now, how can you check your cumulative percentage is correct? Okay. Number 3 is done. Right. So first, it keeps on increasing. So you can see from 2.5 increase to 4.1. 39, 46, 60, 62, 90, 95, 100. So that is correct. If let's say your cumulative percentage, it increase, then decrease, then increase, all right? So there's a up and down over there, then meaning there must be something wrong with your calculation. So you need to recheck back, okay, how you calculate your cumulative percentage. So first clue is it keeps on increasing, okay? Second, at the last line here, it should be 100%. All right, then you can see that it's actually correct. If let's say it's becoming other numbers, maybe 97 or 101, then there must be something wrong in your calculation. So I advise you to recheck back what did you select earlier or in that particular row. Okay, right? So that is step number 3. Number 4, let's create our Pareto. Okay, so highlight all cell and create Pareto. So you highlight everything column A until column C, but excluding the total. Okay, why do we exclude the total? Because if you include the total 122, then the highest one is definitely your total 122, right? So that's why we take everything but excluding the total. So highlight cell A1 until C10, go to insert tab, recommended chart. So under the recommended chart, go to the bottom, you will find your Pareto, right? Automatic, you will see here, this is your Pareto chart, right? Okay. All right, so final step, okay, number 4 is done. We have created the Pareto. The last step is we want to determine the main complaints. Remember, the manager just now, okay, he wants to know which one he should prioritize, okay, so he can make the hotel be better. So here, since Pareto is also known as 80-20 rule, so now I will set a limit for 80% here. What I would do is I will create a straight line at 80%. I will pull it to the left until it touches the line graph, and then I will create a vertical line, all right? And anything to the left of the vertical line, that is 80% of the main problem or the main complaints, right? So I would advise the hotel manager to actually work on those 80% first. Okay. So instead of creating a line here, right, horizontal and vertical, it may consume your time, all right, to create the line. So what I would do here, I would just add on a shape, all right, a simple triangle. So I would insert a shape here, go to insert tab, illustration, shapes. Let's choose the triangle here and just create the rectangle, right? So now it looks blue, all right? So let's make it transparent at the back. So right click your mouse on the shape. Under fill, go to no fill, all right? So now you can see at the back. And the outline, you can change it to different color. Usually I use red, okay? So the trick is here, you need to ensure it's exactly at 80%, okay? And then it touches your line graph, all right? So position your rectangle properly. Don't put it here or put it further up, all right? Make sure there is a horizontal line at the 80%, all right, until it touches the line graph here, right? Just nice, okay? So anything to the left of the vertical line here, delay in registration, room cleaning, and food quality, these are the main complaints that the hotel should address, okay? So these are just simple example, all right? So some of you may say, why don't I just sort and filter, right? I just sort it and see which are the highest complaints that I receive. You can do that as well. But Pareto charts, all right, we want to show it visually, all right, to other people. All right, we don't want to just sort it and then show, look in a table, this is our finding. If you want to make it, more interesting in the form of charts and graph, you can actually use Pareto to show to people, right? Then you can actually highlight these 3 items here and say, look, these are the 3 items or the 3 complaints that you must address, okay? Other than the complaints, all right, the other use that I usually see people use Pareto is, let's say, you want to analyze costs in your company, right? You have a lot of department in your company, so you can do a lot of Pareto. Let's say first, okay, you have the financial data from the finance team, for an example. All right, you can do your first Pareto to see which department has the highest cost. All right, example. So your first Pareto would show, let's say here, we have the HR, risk department, procurement department, safety department, etc. Right? And then you choose the top 3 department, and then you get the finance data for those 3 departments only. Then you create a sub Pareto, another Pareto, to see inside of those department what is the highest cost. All right. So there's a lot of uses for Pareto as well. Okay, and you can show it in this way. All right. So that is for Pareto. Method 1, if you have Pareto function. So it's very simple. Total, create a new column, calculate your cumulative percentage, and then just create your Pareto. Okay, right? So that is method 1 if you have Pareto function. Now, method 2 is when you don't have Pareto function. Okay, there are few additional steps. Step 1, you have to sort largest to smallest. If you notice the difference, just now when we do method 1, if you have Pareto function, you just straight away find the total and you calculate the cumulative percentage, right? But if you don't have Pareto function, you need to do step 1 first, which is you need to sort from largest to smallest first, the number of complaint. That is the additional step that you have to do, okay? And then we also have to do step 5 until step 7. This is because you don't have under your recommended chart Pareto, so we will need to adjust your column graph, okay, and the combo graph manually. All right, so we have 4 additional steps if you don't have Pareto function. It may look hard, all right, but I promise you it's actually quite simple to do. Okay, so first we need to sort from largest to smallest. So if you can see here, all right, now we have from 43 up to 2. Okay, so we have actually sorted nicely. All right, you can actually sort it from largest to smallest here. So now you can see 43, 34, 17, etc. Okay. Second step is as per the first one, create total, you get 122. Third step, calculate cumulative percentage. So I've calculated also. The method is the same. All right, so for the first one, we take B2 divide by B11, 43 divided by 122. When it comes to row second, all right, remember accumulate, all right, so you need to add 43 and 34 together, only then you divide by B11, 122. So you do the same for the rest of the cell, okay? Now, I will show you for step 5 until 7. So step 4, it says highlight all cell and create Pareto. So it's the same, highlight everything excluding the total, right? Let's go to insert tab, recommended chart. Now, what does it say? The step by step. It says here, go to all charts. All right, let's go to all charts. Go to column and then choose clustered column. That is step 5. Click OK. So up to step 5, this is how it looks like. Okay, so you have your blue and also orange graph here. The next step is, what does it say? It says right click on column graph, okay, and then click on change series chart type. So let's right click. All right, sorry, let's right click on the column graph. Okay. Let me right click, give me a moment. It seemed to be stuck. Right, so change series chart type. Okay, so change series chart type here. All right, just right click on the column graph and click on change series chart type. That is step 6. Step 7, again, go to combo under cumulative percentage. All right, now it's showing as clustered column. I want you to change it to line, the first one, just basic line. And then you can see here there is secondary axis. I want you to tick on secondary axis. Click OK. So now you get your Pareto. So it's very simple. It looks hard. It seems like there's a lot of steps involved. But the difference is first you need to sort first, largest to smallest, and then just follow step 5 until step 7. Okay. So now you have your Pareto. So insert your shapes here, the rectangle. Okay, it's the same method. Right click, fill, make it to no fill. Outline, you can change it to any color of your choice. Make sure it's nicely at 80% here, all right, until it touches the line graph. So anything to the left of the vertical line is the one that you need to focus on. It's the same. Delay in registration, room cleaning, and also food quality. The result is the same as per when you use method 1. Okay, so that is Pareto. All right, and we have covered all of the 3 tiers. Okay, first is the basic charts and graph where we covered column, bar, line, and pie chart. Second tier in today's session, we look into actual versus target graph. Let me open the actual versus target. So this is what we have, right? So let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so you have 2 options here with marker or both is column. Okay, and then finally we have Pareto here, all right, for you to determine the main complaints, the highest cost, etc. All right, so I hope what I shared with you would be useful for you. All right. And I hope it will help you to further explore and utilize impactful charts and graph in Microsoft Excel. With that, that's all for my presentation and sharing for today. So let's go back to Nafis. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Miss Adila. All right, thank you, Miss Adila. Okay, so if you have any question, you may ask in the comment section. Miss Adila will answer it. So, right, I think for today's session, we have no questions. Okay. All right. So, thank you, Miss Adila, for the sharing. So, that concludes the time we have for today learning our session on our topic in chart and graph in Microsoft Excel. So, I hope everyone found this session informative and helpful. So, for your information, we have upcoming face-to-face Microsoft Excel class training on the 25th and 26th July. Miss Adila will teach for this training at Armada Hotel Petaling Jaya. So, if you are interested to join this training, you can reach us on our email or social media. So, we have also have other classes on this month. So as you can see, we have Power BI training, video editing, and digital marketing masterclass on this July. So if you want to know more about our HRD claimable courses, check out Excel's Academy websites and social media platform to stay updated with our training and events. Okay, so I will receive question. Okay, Miss Adila from Lukman Zulkifli.
All right, so hi Lokman. So you're asking, could the graph update data if we use different Excel format? Example, XML, CSV, spreadsheet. All right, so the graph can be updated. If you use different sources of data, right, you can actually get the graph updated as well. But now we are using it's not really, it's quite new actually. If you ever heard of Power BI, right? So Power BI allows you to extract data from different sources, XML, CSV, Excel. You can even get it, let's say, from PDF or any specifics or any specific software that you use, example, Oracle, SAP, etc. Right? So if you want to use this variety of data, all right, data format from different sources, you can actually use Power BI. So they can extract everything together and provide you updates on the graph. Okay, but as per the graph right now in Microsoft Excel, all right, it will actually update the data as per the info that you have inside your Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so you can actually convert, you can actually extract from XML, CSV, no problem, from different source of data, but you need to ensure it's in your Excel spreadsheet. Only then it will update the graph, all right? But if you want an easier option, this is why I suggest for you to use Power BI, because Power BI have the power and also the ability to actually take in all of these different sources together and combine them, so you can create that more holistic graph, I would say. Okay, so I hope that answer your question. Yes, I would say the graph can be updated if you are using different file, but you need to ensure that you convert those different source first into your Excel spreadsheet. Only then you can use it in Excel. But if you want to combine all of those sources of data together, all right, you can just use Power BI. You can just extract from different location, then it will create the graph for you. Okay, so I hope that answered your question, and thank you so much.
Okay. So if there any question, okay, we wait a moment. Alright. So there's no question. So just I repeat it back. So remember, Excel Academy is here to support you. So if you want to know more about our HRD Corp claimable course, check out Excel Academy's website or social media platform to stay updated with our training and events. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Miss Adila, for the good explanation. And we look forward to seeing you in our future webinars and classes. Thank you.